The storm didn't arrive suddenly. It built slowly over the late afternoon, gathering itself in layers of gray. On the edge of a small industrial town sat an abandoned grocery store. Its windows were boarded. Its faded sign hung at a tilt. The parking lot was wide, cracked, and mostly forgotten except for a few weeds pushing through the asphalt. By early evening, the wind had started dragging loose paper across the pavement. A plastic bag caught on a rusted shopping cart and fluttered like a flag. Near the far end of the lot, where the old cart return shelter still stood, a German shepherd lay curled against the concrete wall. Her coat was thick but dull from months outdoors. Rain darkened the fur along her back. She wasn't sleeping. Between her front legs, pressed tightly against her chest, were two small puppies. They were still at that unsteady age. Large paws, rounded bellies, unsure eyes. When the first crack of thunder rolled across the sky, the mother lifted her head. She didn't bark. She only listened. The wind shifted, and rain began to fall harder, tapping against the metal roof of the cart shelter in uneven rhythms. The puppies flinched at the noise and burrowed deeper into her fur. She adjusted her body, angling herself so her back faced the rain and her body formed a wall. She would stay like that for hours. 2 blocks away, Daniel was finishing a late shift at the warehouse. He didn't like driving in storms. The roads flooded easily in that part of town. But he waited it out for as long as he could before heading home. As he turned into the empty grocery store lot, a shortcut he used sometimes, his headlights swept across the old building. Something moved near the cart return. At first, he assumed it was debris. A tarp, a shadow shifting in the rain. Then the shape lifted its head. He slowed the truck. In the brief flash of lightning, he saw the outline clearly. Pointed ears, long muzzle, steady posture. A dog. He hesitated. Stray dogs were common in the area, especially near closed buildings. Most ran the moment a vehicle approached. But this one didn't move. She only watched. Daniel left the engine running. Rain struck the windshield in sheets. He adjusted the wipers and leaned forward, squinting through the glass. That's when he saw the small shapes beneath her. Puppies. The mother shifted slightly, tightening her position around them. He felt something settle in his chest. Not urgency, not panic, just awareness. They were going to be there all night, and the temperature was dropping. Daniel didn't get out immediately. He knew better than to rush toward a protective mother dog. Instead, he turned off his headlights but kept the engine running for warmth. The parking lot fell into a softer gray, lit only by distant streetlights and lightning that flickered across the sky. He watched. The mother dog's ears stayed upright. Her eyes reflected faintly in the dim light. The puppies shifted again. One attempted to stand, wobbled, and pressed against her shoulder. Another crack of thunder rolled overhead, closer this time. Daniel opened the truck door slowly. The wind grabbed it hard. Rain soaked through his jacket within seconds as he stepped out. He kept his hands visible, movements slow. "Hey," he said softly, barely louder than the rain. The dog stiffened. Not aggressive, not growling, just alert. He stopped walking, left space between them, about 30 feet. He crouched down slightly to lower his height. "It's okay," he murmured. The words weren't magic. They never are. But tone matters. She studied him. Rain streamed off her ears and down her nose. She didn't look away. Behind her, thunder cracked again, sharper now. One puppy yelped, a thin, uncertain sound, and she immediately shifted her body more tightly around both of them. Daniel stood back up slowly. He understood. She wasn't asking for help. She was asking for distance. Daniel walked back to his truck. Inside the bed, he kept an old moving blanket and a flattened cardboard box he used sometimes for hauling equipment. He carried them carefully toward the cart shelter. This time, he didn't approach directly. Instead, he placed the cardboard box about 15 feet away, just inside the dry edge beneath the metal roof. He laid the blanket inside it, creating a soft barrier from the cold concrete. The rain was getting heavier now. Water streamed across the parking lot in shallow rivers. He stepped back again. The mother watched. She didn't move. He waited under the overhang of the building, giving her space. Minutes passed. The storm deepened. Lightning flickered across the empty lot. One of the puppies began whining softly. The mother lowered her head and nudged it gently with her nose. Daniel felt the wind shift direction. Rain began blowing sideways, pushing further under the shelter. The corner where she lay would not stay dry much longer. He didn't rush her. He just waited. It happened quietly. The mother lifted her head again and looked toward the box. Not at Daniel, at the box. She stood slowly, revealing the two puppies pressed against the wall. She stepped forward, only one step, then paused. Daniel stayed still. The puppies stumbled after her. She walked to the box cautiously, sniffed the edge of the cardboard, then the blanket. She circled it once. Thunder rolled again. This time she didn't hesitate. She guided the first puppy inside with a gentle nudge of her nose. Then the second. She stepped in last, curling her body around them again. But this time, they were dry. Daniel exhaled. He hadn't realized he'd been holding his breath. He didn't approach further. He simply nodded once to himself and returned to his truck. The storm would continue through the night. But they were out of the wind. By morning, the storm had passed. The parking lot looked washed clean. Puddles reflected a pale sunrise. Daniel returned before work. He carried a small bowl of water and some plain cooked chicken from his refrigerator. The box was still there. The mother was awake. The puppies peeked over the edge of the cardboard, curious now in the daylight. Daniel placed the bowl and food a few feet away and stepped back. She didn't rush to it. She watched him first. Then, slowly, she stepped out. Her movements were cautious but no longer tense. She ate only a little before returning to the box and nudging the food closer to her puppies. Daniel sat on the curb a distance away. No words, no attempts to touch, just presence. Over the next 2 days, Daniel returned regularly. Food, water, quiet distance. The mother began recognizing the sound of his truck. Her posture softened slightly each time. On the third morning, he brought something new. A large pet carrier he borrowed from a neighbor. He set it down gently near the shelter, door open, blanket inside. He didn't try to guide them. He simply left it there. It took nearly an hour. The puppies explored it first, wobbling inside and back out again. The mother inspected every corner. Eventually, she lay beside it. Daniel waited patiently. He had already called a local rescue group willing to help if he could safely transport them. No rush, no pressure, just time. Late that afternoon, something shifted. One puppy fell asleep inside the carrier. The second followed. The mother stood outside it for several long minutes. Daniel remained seated on the curb, pretending not to watch too closely. Finally, she stepped inside. She turned once, then settled. Daniel rose slowly. He approached carefully and knelt beside the carrier. She looked at him, steady, unreadable. He gently closed the door. She didn't panic. She only watched. The rain had left the air cool and clear. He carried the crate to the truck and secured it carefully in the back seat. The parking lot returned to silence. The rescue center wasn't large. It sat behind a veterinary clinic, quiet and clean. When Daniel arrived, the staff moved slowly and calmly. No loud excitement, no sudden movements. They spoke in low voices. The carrier door opened. The mother stepped out first, scanning the room. The puppies tumbled out behind her, curious again. A technician placed soft bedding inside a private enclosure. Fresh water, warm light. The mother stood between the staff and her puppies at first. But there was no wind here, no thunder, no cold concrete, only steady warmth. Daniel watched from the doorway. He didn't stay long. He signed the intake form quietly and left before the staff finished settling them. It felt right that way. Weeks later, Daniel received a short email update. The puppies were healthy. The mother had begun allowing gentle contact. They would be placed for adoption once ready. Attached was a photo. The German Shepherd lay stretched comfortably on clean bedding. The puppies rested against her, larger now, eyes brighter. No storm, no parking lot, just calm. Daniel closed the email and sat back in his chair. Outside his window, the sky was clear. Storms still passed through that town from time to time. Wind still rattled loose signs. But somewhere nearby, in a quiet room filled with soft light, a mother dog no longer had to face the thunder alone. And that was enough.